How are you? Going it live. It's good stuff. I like this. This works for me. So many thoughts in my head. A whole day of helping people. I hope. um, and then to just share some ideas. So there's been an idea I've been working on. Man, this is so much easier than like making a post and a whole graphic. Just like tell you. Okay, that was the parentheses. Or a little too much glare here. Anyway, this idea like this, it came out. I've been working on it, but it crystallized itself into a great way to express it. We need to kind of have these mantras that we remember in the moment when we need it, and easy to remember, kind of go-to tools in the tool belt. So the idea is feelings. So many of us struggle with feelings, emotions. What the heck am I supposed to do with all these emotions anyway? It's not like there was, emotions and feelings 101 in high school. But there needs to be, there's no emotional education. We don't have an emotional vocabulary. We don't have emotional vocabulary. We don't know what the heck to do with a feeling. And so, the bottom line message that what we need to hear, what you need to hear from me is you're allowed to feel. Yes, let's do it again. You are allowed to feel. Now, that's a message you have to sit with yourself, because any one of a number of ways we grew up in environments in which that was not the message. I'll give you some examples. Simone, what's up? Welcome. Nice Shoshana. So, some people grow up in a house where there's a lot of criticism. It's never good enough. They never quite got it right. And so I'm sharing my feelings, and it's just not safe, so better not feel. Some people grow up in very explosive homes, unstable emotional homes, an alcoholic, rageaholic type of a home. And it's like, what? We're desperate to kind of control and feel safe in the environment. And the only thing I discovered is, if I don't feel and I don't have an opinion and I never speak up, kind of have a chance that I won't, stir the pot and cause a meltdown. So there's a few ideas. You know what? You meditate it yourself. Do you have to know why you struggle to feel? No. Is it helpful? Yeah. Will it come to you over time if you keep thinking about it? Yes. But you don't have to know. The main point is that if you'll think about it, this is a core struggle, is just feelings that I'm allowed to feel. To get in touch with my feelings, using the feelings chart just to know what's going on in the feeling. But a lot of us are coming to this struggle in our relationships, freaked out by feelings, running away from feelings. I'd say at the core of any addiction is really avoidance and running away from those feelings. And that's what we're struggling with. The feelings are primarily those uncomfortable feelings of the child self, the kid inside of us that's still living in a dynamic that we grew up with. So we are allowed to feel. And that's an important thing. It also gets into validation. A lot of us feel like a piece of crap, and I'm not worthwhile or valid. Any pleasers out there throwing yourself at people, which is like, does this ring a bell? I'm never going to tell you what I want. I won't tell you what I need. I won't tell you what restaurant I like, what movie I want to see. Nothing. You'll never hear a word from me. I won't ask for any of my needs. And I will constantly be trying to do for you and give to you and find ways to, always be on the giving side of things. Why? You probably haven't thought about it. Deep down, what's going on is this. I have no value. And so, but I need love. So how will I get love if I'm unlovable? So I'll do for you lots and lots of stuff constantly. And then I'll hope that, it'll be good and you'll like it, and then I'll get the love back. It comes back to not feeling valid or worthwhile. And so when I'm in a conversation with somebody and I want to share what I feel, it can be very hard to get myself to share, to assertively share, to feel confident to share. So we've got to deal with that. This is always a theme that we're going to be dealing with. Let's get into the main point here about feel and then deal. Something that I see a lot happening, tremendous amounts, okay, is you're sharing a bunch of feelings and the person you're talking to is like, all right, what are we going to do about it? What should we do? How do we fix that? No. Or here, the typical knock against men, right, is that you have to play Mr. Fix-It. She's sharing, then he tries to fix it. She feels unheard, but I'm listening to, we're allowed to feel. If I am the one expressing, I'm allowed to feel. And what am I looking for is just to be heard. You know, we need to do that with ourselves. The last video I did a couple of days ago was what am I feeling? I've got to treat myself that way. I can't expect the people around me to listen in or hear what I feel if I'm not doing that myself. Come on. So I need to do that myself. What am I feeling? What was I feeling? But when I'm talking to people and I'm sharing with people, that first step, it's step 1, step 2. Problem solving, fixing, what are we going to do about it? Step 2. Step 2. Step 1, just feel. Just feel. Those of you out there trying to connect to your partner, your friend, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, when they are expressing feelings, that is all that needs to be happening. Yes. You only have to listen. Because step 1 is feel, then deal. So what happens is like this, is we're uncomfortable with feelings. I don't feel I'm allowed to feel. I got a message as a kid, it's bad to feel. Or I like feeling, but I don't know what the heck to do with my feelings. Fine. So we're trying to share, and we jump right away into like dealing with it. What can we do about it? Why? It's tremendous discomfort. It's let's make those feelings go away. It's not okay to feel, right? You know, and those of us who grew up in an environment where it wasn't okay to feel, and we're attracting a partner who jumps right away into problem solving, is basically a message of, hey, you're not allowed to feel. Let's do that again. When I'm sharing what I'm feeling and going through, and the person I'm talking to jumps right away into problem solving. Well, fix this, or just do that, or why not this? And let's go, you know, without just saying, so what you're saying is you're feeling frustrated, or, oh, I hear you, or I felt like that, and I think I understand. Like, they jump right away into that. It's a message you're not allowed to feel. And those of us who have grown up with a message, and that kid self inside is still stuck in that dynamic from being a kid that I'm not allowed to feel. As I'm sitting talking to somebody and they jump right away into dealing, instead of playing with the feeling in the first step, it feels familiar because you're reinforcing an old message to me of, hey, you ain't allowed to feel. That's the problem. But it's got to start with me. I'm allowed to feel. We feel and then we deal. And the cool byproduct is like this. If you skip feelings and you just jump to dealing with it, you're going to struggle to be successful to deal with it. You haven't really dealt with the feelings. It is like, I was talking about this today, you take a basketball into the pool and you stuff it under the water and you try to hold it down and it's just going to blow up right in your face. Something that even smacks you in the nose. There's some funny TikToks about this kind of stuff. Oh, there was a funny, I got to find that one again. It was a funny video of people like opening up beer bottles with basketballs, kind of like bouncing it. Whatever. Side point. Distracted. The point is that if I skip over the feelings, I'm expressing and we jump right into dealing, I haven't really tended to the feelings. I'm not going to be so successful in dealing with it. On the flip side, if I take step 1 to step 1, and then only later will I get into step 2. Could be 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, could be a day later, could be an hour later, but right now I'm feeling. If and when I do that, there's so much more clarity and success when I jump into the step about, well, what am I going to do about it now? I feel heard. I feel understood. The main thing that's needed is for me to hear what this kid self is feeling. Frustrated, insecure, embarrassed, worried, nervous, anxious, insecure, unsure, unstable, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is that it's feeling, whatever that kid inside is feeling, I just need to hear it. And I need that then also from the people around me. It starts with me, but I need, when I feel, let's feel. Then we can go into deal. And so we also contribute to that. A lot of times people come to me, this one does to me, and that one does to me, and that one does to me. But it's like, let's go back. Let me show you how. A lot of people say, well, I can't change other people around me. It's true. But indirectly, I can become more aware of some of the things that I'm doing. So let's go back to what I was saying before. Person grew up with some kind of a message that it's not okay for me to feel, have an opinion, whatever it is. That's my norm. I have a kid self inside. I also have an adult self. Cool. But the child self is out of control, raging loudly, talking. The adult self is kind of like a whisper until I practice and get stronger. But that kid self is really raging, out of control, and full of feelings. Okay, but it's still playing out that dynamic that I had as a kid that I'm not allowed to feel. So that's what feels normal. And I keep treating myself that same way. 10 years old, 15 years old, 25, 30, 40, 60, still treating that same way. That's the norm. And so it feels normal. So I treat myself that way, you ain't allowed to feel. And I attract to myself people that treat me the same way. Why? Hopefully I get the message. I can start to work on it, but I'm going to be in conversations where I'm expressing a feeling and the person jumps right away to dealing with it. Or you shouldn't feel that way because I didn't mean to hurt you. You shouldn't feel hurt because I didn't intend it. But I'm feeling hurt, dude. You know, so how we treat ourselves, then people around us are treating us the same way. And we're attracting those same types of people who bring out the same old dynamic we had as a kid of like, ain't allowed to feel. And this feels normal. So a person who jumps right away, you're expressing feelings and they jump right away into, well, what are we going to do about it? Is basically saying, without saying words, basically saying you're not allowed to feel. This is a side topic we should get into. If you experience it, hit me up in the comments below. But like, there are things that we say wordlessly. A mother tells the kids what to do and then is over them, hovering over them, reminding them, nagging them. What is she actually saying? The nagging, what's out, the whole thing. What's the implied message? The wordless message? I don't trust you. I don't believe in you. So this is a side topic. Parentheses. I like parentheses as long as I'm not too tired and I get lost in them. But that's an important one. Implied messages that are coming up. But over here is an implied message. And it's bringing up something familiar is if I am still holding with this out of control child self that's so used to not feeling, don't feel, it's not okay to feel, it's not safe to feel. You know, some kids grew up in a home where they said, you know, my house is so out of control emotionally, so unstable, like it feels like it's going to fall apart at any minute. But I discovered through trial and error, if I don't speak up and I'm really quiet and I'm a good boy and I'm a good girl, I don't say anything and no opinions, no feelings, I kind of feel like the house won't blow up. Don't feel. So we will attract those kinds of people to us and contend with that kind of message of people jumping right away into dealing instead of allowing us to sit with feeling. It starts with me not treating myself that same way. And then when I'm around people who are like that, I'll say something. So here, when you're still stuck with that inner child that doesn't, feels like he's not allowed to feel. So I'm expressing, and someone jumps right away into dealing. And it just becomes a whole mess and an argument. But there's a part of me that's like, yeah, that's right. I'm not supposed to feel, it feels normal to me. I go along with it. Now, as you work on this, previous video, tuning in, what do I feel? Check out the Triggered in Quarantine feelings chart. What exactly am I feeling? What are some of the words that match the feelings? Where in the body am I feeling it? As I do that, I start to get really clear. I start to validate myself. I start to reparent myself. My adult self's voice, I've got these two voices, child and adult. The adult's voice gets louder. I'm validating myself. Now I'm in a conversation. Israel, what's up? Now I'm in a conversation and I'm expressing feelings. And the person I'm talking to jumps right into dealing. And I said, whoa. 1 second. I'm not ready for that. I just need you to hear me. See, the difference is I'm not okay. I don't go along with that. It no longer is my norm that I'm not allowed to feel because I've been working on it. So feel, then deal. That is the message today. Check out the previous video 2 days ago, I think. I hope. Does it feel like Groundhog Day to you guys? Like every day is the same day? Welcome to Corona times. Anyway, hopefully it's over soon. But check out the previous video. What am I feeling? What was I feeling? Tuning into those feelings. I'm going to be the parent here. I'm going to validate myself. I'm going to get myself that message I'm allowed to feel. If you stop in the middle of the day at some point and you say, what was I feeling then? You know what you just practiced? I'm allowed to feel. There you go. And what we practice grows stronger. So you see where we're going with this. So today's message is feel, then deal. There's a lot of parts and ideas and things that you can do, but just meditate on that, Bring it with you into conversations. And are you expressing feelings and the person you're talking to is jumping into dealing? Are you doing that to other people? Are you comfortable with your own feelings? But if you really want to get to dealing and to figure out what to do about it, we've got to allow ourselves some time to chill out with feeling, to feel and allow ourselves to feel, to hear ourselves, and to ask those around us to hear us. And for those of you on the listening end, honestly, it is really simple. When someone is talking and sharing what's going on, you just have to feel. Now, we can talk about this also. There's another video. Use the comments if you want it. But why am I in a conversation, uncomfortable just hearing somebody? Why is it hard for me to just shut up for 5 minutes and not say a word? By the way, an experiment. Have a conversation and tell yourself, don't even try to get a word and be heard. Some of us are looking for validation in our conversations, and that's why we're pushing. We're not even hearing the person. We're already thinking about what we're going to say next. Batya, how are you? So already think about what we're going to say next. Okay. Try this experiment and you'll see what I'm saying about feeling. Okay. If I put myself aside, I don't reject myself. I love myself. I'm awesome. Good guy. I'm valid and worthwhile. But check this out. I'm in a conversation. Someone's talking to me. Put myself aside. I'm just tuned in. And they're sharing like, I hear you. Nodding my head. Eye contact. Also what you're saying is you feel frustrated. I'm reflecting back what I say. Shut up. Don't say a word about you. Just reflect back. Reflect back. Reflect back. You know what happens eventually? Silence. Because the person expressed everything they need to say. They feel completely heard. They may start repeating themselves over and over again because they're so used to not being heard. That's a separate thing. But I heard you. And it's a proof that when someone is speaking, step one is feel, then deal. They just need to be heard. They just need to be heard. And that's why once they've shared everything and you've heard them, oops, don't shake the phone. Once you've heard them and they shared everything, they're very calm. So we feel, then we deal. And you'll see that you have so much more success in dealing with an issue or together collectively, you and the person you're talking to, getting in touch with, well, what should I do about it? The truth is that this really also works for yourself. When a bunch of feelings come up and I just say, okay, before I jump to fix it and make it go away and, oh, the anxiety and this one and that one and the other, whoa, what am I feeling right now? Wow, this is really intense. Allow myself to feel. What you find, things get calmer. I'm heard. This is not this freaked out kid inside, desperate for my attention, screaming, because I'm giving the attention. What am I feeling? What do I feel? What am I feeling? What was I feeling? I'm just tuning in. Use the feelings chart, or just ask yourself, what am I feeling? Or just pay attention. Think about this also, another meditation. Most of our conversations were completely from the skin out, right? From me out. He said, she said, but then I responded and this one happened and this one, it's all external. We rarely say, wait a minute, what am I feeling? Because I promise you in every conversation, there's you and the person on a surface level talking, adult self. But then there's a deeper level. There's what am I feeling in that moment? And we leave this out. And when that doesn't get addressed, it's very hard to jump to the next step about what am I going to do about it? How am I going to deal with it? Very hard. So do yourself a favor. Allow yourself to feel, So this works when you're sitting by yourself processing something and, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix it? It's like, well, wait a minute. What's going on for me emotionally right now? Just tune in. The cool thing when you're by yourself is you got a captivated audience. You could listen to yourself. You don't have to fight for airtime. But even if we're talking to somebody or they're talking to us, feel, then deal. Keep the project management, next action steps, goals, Mr. Fix-It hat, keep it out. That's step 2. You'll get there. Just sit with the feelings, and you'll see that you have so much more success than getting into it. But it comes back again to you are allowed to feel. Anyway, what are your struggles with feeling? What are your struggles? Do you experience this feel then deal type issue? Use those comments. They're below. They're there for a reason. And if you notice, I comment like crazy. When I'm here, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good this week. The comments are pretty full. I challenge you to find a group where the administrator comments as much as I do. Okay, I'm just enjoying myself and practicing some self-love over there. But I enjoy the comments. Anyway, fill them up. Let me know what you're thinking. Does this resonate with you? Feel then deal. Are you struggling with it? Why are you struggling with it? Did I touch on some point in this video? That's not getting too long. I have to go to bed. Did I touch on a point that you want me to do a video on? Your wish is my command. Anyway, all the blessings, lots of good news. Keep going and keep growing. We'll talk more soon.